Blessings and welcome to the path to freedom. This is a beautiful path where we get to set ourselves free from fear, from worry, from doubt. We get to set ourselves free to soar, to shine, to glow, to be in that ever expanding love and joy and peace and harmony, wholeness, beauty, where we get to set ourselves free to forever allow for greater and grander expressions of who and what we are to emerge with ever increasing ease and grace. So my name is Daniel Roquillo, and I'm very grateful and honored that you're choosing to tune into this particular space, this particular message. I'm grateful and honored that you are willing to do the inner work of setting yourself free, that you are willing to expand your consciousness, that you're willing to raise your vibration so that we may all assist and consciously participate in the midwifing of the new world, of that which is emerging in the world right now. So we're doing this work for ourselves, obviously, but we're also doing it for all of humanity, for the whole world. So the topic for today, it relates to the art of the second pillar of freedom, trust and surrender. And the topic is Thy will be done, going beyond the unknown. Thy will be done, going beyond the unknown. And if you have tuned in to, so let's begin. And this obviously has to do with us getting out of the way. This obviously has to do with us giving the loving presence that is all there is, that is the all in all, that is eternally benevolent, that is always for itself, that is always expressing itself perfectly, beautifully, magnificently, giving it free reign in our lives. So this is about us getting our bloated selves out of the way, our little wants, releasing the confinements that we so oftentimes place on this loving presence, the sacred laws. Because many of us, we are so keen on dictating and micromanaging manifestation. We are so keen on articulating and describing what needs to happen and what it needs to look like, the outcomes, the end results. So to be absolutely sure that we get what we want. And obviously this tendency arises out of a sense of not trusting, which in turn arises out of a sense of separation, out of a sense that the good that we desire, that it is out there somewhere. And I know one of the mantras that I used to, not consciously, but very unconsciously lean into was, if I don't do it, it's not going to get done. If I don't make this happen, it's not going to happen at all. That's how I used to flow. That's how I used to roll in the world. And obviously there's a lot of stress. There's a lot of anxiety, there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of doubt arising out of that notion that it is up to us to make it happen, that we are responsible for the manifestation, for what it looks like and how long it takes and how to get there. Like I was having a conversation with someone earlier today, and they shared that they are moving from where they are toward, or they have caught a vision for their life. That's what we were talking about. They have caught a vision for their lives, and they were unsure as to how to get there, how to do it, how to make it happen. And we got to have a conversation around the fact that we don't ever need to know how to make it happen. We don't even need to make it happen. But we get to, and we're so wise to, trust this loving presence, trust the beautiful unfoldment that is always happening. I mean, if we look at nature, nothing in nature makes how to make anything happen. That seed or that seedling does not know or try to figure out or try to micromanage the unfoldment of whatever it is destined to become, right? The acorn does not figure out or does not make the oak tree happen. The avocado seed does not make the avocado tree happen. The mother, whoever the mother is or whatever the mother is, does not make the baby happen, but there's an emergence, there's the divine intelligence that is flowing through, that is penetrating and permeating all of creation, that evolutionary impulse. So coming back to thy will be done, going beyond the unknown, what is then the will of spirit? Because that's whose will we are deferring to. When we say thy will be done, we are surrendering to the will of this loving presence. So what is its will? What is its will? Well, it's very simple. The will of spirit, the will of this loving presence, is to forever come into ever greater and grander expressions of itself, is to reveal more of that which it is, to express more of that which it is. That's it. That's it. I mean, that's the whole purpose of creation. That's the whole purpose of galaxies and universes and cosmos expanding, ever expanding. That's the purpose of evolution on any planet. For this loving presence to know more of itself, as it has always been, or also been stated, but to express more of itself, to express more love, more beauty, more harmony, more wholeness, more abundance, more intelligence. So when we are saying, thy will be done, we are in essence saying that we trust the same divine intelligence that makes sure that our hearts beat, that makes sure that our lungs breathe, that makes sure that the sun rises and sets, that makes sure that the seasons come and go, that makes sure that anything and everything happens. That is the divine intelligence that we are trusting. And we can rest assured of two things, actually. We can rest assured that this loving presence, being benevolent, being always for itself, being loving, being generous, that it knows the highest possibility for us in our lives. It contains every single possibility for every single one of us. So there's no possibility, there's no version of who and what we are that does not exist in this infinite mind, because it is infinite. It has no beginning, it has no ending. So everything, and I know that this is difficult for the intellect to comprehend, to understand, to grasp. But this is so nonetheless. It is infinite. So every single possibility of ourselves, of who and what we are, exists in this infinite mind. As it is its will to forever allow for greater and grander expression of itself in us and through us, to come into being, to come into manifestation, to come into demonstration, to come into fruition, to clothe itself, to emerge. It is eternally guiding and leading and moving us in the direction of the next great and grand version of who and what we are. It is eternally sourcing and fueling and funding us, making sure that we have everything that we need in every single moment. In every single moment. So leaning into thy will be done, going beyond the unknown, as we begin to catch visions, intentions, dreams, goals for our lives, we are so wise to not relegate, to not confine, not limit this loving presence to our imagination. Because our imagination, it in turn is limited by our past experiences. Unless we have had some sort of experience with something, it may be a personal experience, or it may be an experience of someone else who has shared it with us, we don't have the ability to imagine it. We need to have some sort of experience with it, to be able to imagine it. And it's been said, which is kind of funny and a very beautiful statement. It's been stated that God begins where our imagination begins, or God begins where our imagination ends, speaking to the truth that when we stop dictating, when we release our articulating what something needs to look like, the end result, the outcome. Oh, I want this. I want this particular car. I want that particular job. I want that particular house, or whatever the case may be. When we release and let go the 4 dimensions of surrender, when we release the what, in this case, when we release the what, we're giving the Spirit free rein to guide and lead us, move us beyond anything that we've ever known, anything that we've ever experienced. Because we are not confining, we are not putting Spirit in a bottle, closing the lid. We're not putting a lid on God's ingenuity, creativity. But we're saying, hey, I trust you unconditionally. I know that you are for me. I know, as we are one, that everything is working for my highest good. Because my highest good equals the highest good of all. It's the same as the highest good for all of creation. So while we are wise to have visions or intentions, a sense of direction, we're wise to not dictate what it needs to look like, how it's supposed to be, but to leave that open for Spirit to guide and lead and move us. Thy will be done. Thy will be done. Not my will be done. Thy will be done. Trusting that this loving presence that is always for itself, it knows exactly what needs to happen, how it needs to happen, and when it needs to happen for any single and every single possibility to demonstrate, to manifest itself. And its will is always for us. Its will is always for the highest good for all. That is for you and me as unique, perfect, whole, complete expressions and emanations of this loving presence. For every single being, every single planet, every single galaxy, solar system, every single universe, it knows what needs to happen, how it needs to happen, and when it needs to happen. So thy will be done. Thy will be done. I take my hands off of the steering wheel. I get my little self out of the way, allowing that infinite mind, that omniscient mind that knows all, that sees all, that benevolent intelligence. That is the only reason why I'm here in the first place, or why we are here in the first place, so that it may know itself in a unique, perfect, whole, complete way as us, in us, through us. So it is trustworthy. It is trustworthy. Thy will be done. I don't know how this is going to happen. I don't even know what is going to happen, but thy will be done. I trust that all is well, always, forever. I trust that something wonderful is happening, that everything is working for the highest good, and we do not need to dictate. We do not need to dictate. When we rely on our imagination, when we rely on our mental ability to figure out or to create, as some of us individuals do, we create our visions. We come up with them, which really means that we use our intellectual faculty to devise something that needs no devising. That needs no devising. We can catch. We make ourselves open and available to catch a big dream for our lives, the highest vision for our lives, our supreme intentions. Thy will be done. This loving presence is for itself, always, now and forever. And as it is all there is, as we are all in absolute oneness with it, it is for us. Life is friendly. Life is good. Life is for us. We need to let it. We need to let it. Spirit cannot force itself upon us. So we need to consciously surrender. We need to consciously do the work of coming into deeper and deeper trust. Trusting that God is all there is. Trusting that it is benevolent, that it is good. Trusting that it is always expressing itself perfectly. So that we may allow that which is seeking to emerge, because there's always something seeking to emerge. There's always that next and greater version and expression of who and what we are, iteration of who and what we are seeking to emerge from within. We need to let it. Stop blocking it. Stop hindering it by giving power to fear, worry, doubt. By giving power to a sense of not being enough, a sense of not having enough, a sense of separation. We need to trust that still small voice that is eternally guiding and leading and moving us forward in such a beautiful way, a unique way that we all can understand, a language that we all can understand as unique and perfect individuals. Thy will be done, going beyond the known, allowing the unknown to be where we live, continuously moving into the unknown, continuously saying yes to that next version of who we are, continuously stepping out of our comfort zones. Not when we have all the ducks in a row, not when everything is lined up just perfectly, but even before that. Even before we have everything figured out, we say yes, 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 yes. From this moment on, I'm going to be moving in this direction. I have no idea as to how. I have no idea as to when. I have no idea even what it's going to look like when I get there. If there is a there, which there isn't. But I'm still saying yes to it. Yes. Guide me, lead me, move me, source me, fuel me, fund me. Because God does not ever provide a vision without the provision. Spirit would not ever move us in a particular direction without knowing. It's not even an accurate word. Without us being fully equipped to move in that direction, which does not mean that everything that we need is here now. But once we need it, when we need it, as we are moving along the path toward our visions, intentions, beautiful preparation is always happening. We are being beautifully prepared to allow for that next version of who and what we are to emerge. Thy will be done, going beyond the unknown. Thank you so much for tuning in, for participating. The invitation for today is to explore, to investigate, where are we holding on to my will be done? Where are we holding on to thoughts and stories as to what it should look like, what it needs to look like, what it has to look like, what needs to happen, how it needs to happen? Where are we confining ourselves? So the invitation is that we become aware, that we witness and observe our minds, what we're giving power to. Are we giving power to limitation? Are we giving power to fear? Are we giving power to worry? Are we giving power to fear? Doubt? Where are we giving our power? What are we giving our power to? What are we trusting? And the questions in this moment, in this now moment. How can I lean deeper into trust? Another question, as I know that it is done, as I know that God has got this, as I know that I am provided for, what choice can I make? What choice can I make that is in alignment with thy will be done? What choice can I make that is in alignment with thy will be done? That's the question. Powerful question. Beautiful question. Thank you so much for tuning in. Feel free to share this, to invite others to participate. Until we meet again, I bless our ways, and I bless our days in the full knowing that all is well, that something wonderful is happening, that everything is working for the highest good. Thy will be done. Much love, many blessings. Namaste.